Hey everybody, my name is Alex Corzo and welcome to my kitchen here at AlyGarlicHands.com. Now I've got a confession to make. I'm an addict. I'm a food porn addict. I believe that you eat with your eyes first, and how it looks is as important as how it tastes. So I'm here to show you how to take the meals you make in your kitchen every day and make them look sexy on a plate. Now today we're starting with marinara. Okay, we're going to start by prepping our ingredients. You're going to measure out your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients, dice the onion, mince that garlic, and last, we're going to chop up these herbs. Now, chopping herbs, not that complicated, but today we're going to use a type of cut called the chiffonade. Now, chiffonade is French for little rags. I used to think it meant little ribbons, but it means little rags, which doesn't sound as pretty, so we'll call them little ribbons. And it's a really easy technique to use, and super pretty and super sexy on a plate. So we're going to start by just stacking these basil leaves, one on top of the other. Just make sure they're all facing the same direction. Doesn't have to be all that fancy. And then you're going to roll it up like a cigar. Once you've got them stacked and rolled, you're just going to slice across to create gorgeous little ribbons. Look at that. Pretty little ribbons. Okay, we're ready to cook it. So we're going to start by sauteing the garlic and the onions. In a heated pan, I'm going to add in just a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon. Let that heat for just a moment. And since my pan's already hot, there's not a whole lot that I have to do there. All right. Next, I'm going to toss in the onions. And we're going to saute those until they get translucent, which means they start to turn a little bit clear. And these onions are nearly ready. Once they turn translucent, you're going to toss in your garlic. Now, little thing about garlic is, once you get it in the pan, it's a quick saute. So we're going to saute that for about a minute. Don't walk away from your pan. Right? Garlic has a tendency to burn really easily if you just leave it and don't keep it moving around. And once it burns, it turns bitter. And once it turns bitter, that's it. Your dish is done. You've got to toss it out and start it all over again. So we don't want to do that. Onions look ready. Garlic looks ready. Now time for the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to toss in your crushed tomato, your dry ingredients, which are dried oregano, brown sugar, salt and pepper, then the basil, and then my secret ingredient, which isn't so secret anymore, I suppose, quarter cup of red wine. Whatever you've got on hand, just as long as it's not that cooking wine, because it's not very good. Okay, there you go. You're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it starts to boil, turn the heat down just a bit and simmer it for 20 minutes until it gets thick and delish. Now it's time to plate. So, I'm going to focus on a couple of different elements of plating today. One is height, the other one is color. Both really important in making stuff look sexy on a plate. And I would plate things a little bit differently as well so that you have some options. Okay, we're going to take our drained pasta, which has been cooked al dente, take a fork, and start by separating the strands and then swirl around, almost as if you were taking one great big mouthful of that pasta, which we're going to do a little bit later on. But what we're trying to do here is just get as much as we can, move it over to the plate. We're going to create height. Keep swirling until you create a lovely, pretty mound. If you have little bits of spaghetti that stick out, that's okay. Just tuck them in. Nobody's going to know. Step one. Step two is we're going to pour a little bit of sauce over the top. Top it with a little bit of your chiffonaded basil. Chiffonated, whatever you call it. There we go. Then that color looks spectacular. You've got your green, your red, your white. Looks lovely. Top it with a little bit of cheese. And today I'm using the shaved Parmesan. I just think it looks so pretty and sexy. Last but not least, whatever basil you have left over, those little tops that you probably didn't chop up, just give them a little pinchy pinch. Tuck them here on the plate. And doesn't that look restaurant spectacular? Now, making it look spectacular is great, but let's face it, we all have things to do on a weeknight. We don't always have time to plate it and spend a whole lot of time doing that, but that's no excuse for not making it look good. So next, what I'm going to do is show you how I would do it on a regular weeknight. I would just throw my sauce right into my pasta. This time I'm going to use a bowl rather than a plate. Take my tongs and basically do the same thing. Pick up a bit of the pasta and you're going to swirl. Nice big mound of pasta. Let's get that right into our bowl. There we go. And finish it off with little bit of basil, a little bit of cheese on top, and again, take those leftover herbs, there we go, place it right up on top where people can see it, and that looks spectacular for any night of the week. So the last plating technique I'm going to show you, or plating example rather, I'm going to show you is family style. So what if you're not going to plate by plate by plate by plate, you just want to bring a great big dish over to the table and you still want it to look good. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to, again, combine the sauce and the pasta together in the pot. Then let's take it and put that pasta right into a dish. Whatever kind of dish you want to use is perfectly fine. And top it off, once again, with our fresh herbs. That green goes a long way. Just that contrast between the green and the red is absolutely spectacular. Let's go ahead and cheese that up. Whatever kind of cheese you've got is fine too. I happen to get the shaved Parmesan, but whether you want to use the stuff in the can, trust me, I do too. I'm not going to judge. This time, a little bit of a bigger piece of basil leaf. You always want to show people what's gone into your dish, and since basil is a key ingredient there, we're going to use that big old basil leaf for dramatics. And wouldn't you be proud to put that on your family table? Yum. Where's my fork?